Bach's Goldberg Variations is one of his most famous pieces, and you probably know it in a recording or a performance on a piano, which has one keyboard. But when you look at the title page to Bach's Goldberg Variations, he actually asks for a harpsichord with 2 manuals. A manual is what we call a keyboard. You'll see that there are 2 of them here, like a set of drawers. And if you've come to see a Pinchgut Opera, you might see me play this instrument and also manipulate it in ways that give me different sounds. And Bach's Goldberg Variations utilize and exploit all the beautiful colors that come out of this amazing instrument. Let me show you. So in this 2-manual harpsichord, we have the lower manual. Has a beautiful belly sound. And then this one has a slightly tartar, more nasal sound. Now, when they're in this position, I can do something very special that you can't do on a piano, and that is play the same note at the same time. So this note, I can play them together. Now, the French, who loved these instruments, exploited this effect in a technique they called croisé, or crossed. And this is a technique that you will hear and see when I play the Goldberg Variations in March at City Recital Hall. The crossed hand technique is something that can only be done on a 2-manual instrument. On a piano, it's very difficult. Let me show you. So the French wrote these beautiful pieces. Here's an example of one in which I'm playing the same note on different manuals. It's something you can only do in that effect. And Bach writes it in specifically in the variations. But the harpsichord is not just capable of that effect, it's also capable of more sound. So if I push this drawer in now, both of those strings are being performed at once, and you see that I can't play that one now because it's actually going down on the top manual as well, and I've got a little bit more sound, more sonority. I also can add another set of strings by pushing this lever on the right. And that adds, so now 3 strings are being plucked every time I depress a key. You can hear them all playing at once when I depress the key slowly. Finally, another effect that I have on this instrument is what's called the buff stop. And that creates a beautiful effect that we call, it's buff or leather goes against the strings, and it creates something like a harp or a lute. All these effects Bach is asking for in the Goldberg Variations, and it's an extraordinarily rare to actually hear this up close in an intimate space like the City Recital Hall on the instrument that Bach is writing for. And let me show you how he shows off just one aspect of what I've spoken about, and that's the crossed hands. And you could see my hands were on top of each other, but I could play all the notes because I was on different manuals. When you play it on the piano, it's very difficult indeed. You have to leave notes out and rewrite the piece. When you play the Bach Goldberg Variations on an instrument like this, the whole piece comes alive in a way that you may not achieve on an instrument like the piano.